Chapter 2. How to Sync. The first few days went smoothly, almost to the point where it felt misleading, like a powder keg waiting for a spark to ignite. Hanna woke up early each morning, often before anyone else had come downstairs. She moved quietly through the house, careful not to disturb anything, as if she were still unsure of what belonged to her and what did not. By the time Mina arrived in the kitchen, Hanna would already be seated at the table with her phone in hand, practicing English with a stoic intensity. She had been practicing for up to 8 hours a day for the last few months, but some of the grammar and pronunciation was still a bit tricky to her. "Good morning. How are you?" "I am fine. Thank you." She repeated these phrases over and over. The translator repeated each phrase in a clear, mechanical voice, and Hanna would follow it again, adjusting her pronunciation with careful attention. Mina leaned against the doorway, smiling. "You're getting really good." Hanna looked up immediately, her face brightening. "Yes. I practice many times." "I can tell," Mina replied. "You're improving fast." Hanna gestured toward the chair across from her. "You sit. We practice together." Mina pulled out the chair and sat down. "All right. I'm ready." Breakfast was where the rhythm first began to skip. Hanna watched closely as everyone poured cereal into their bowls and added milk without hesitation. When she tried it herself, she took a careful bite, paused, and then chewed slowly. Her expression turned from thoughtful to a pretty ugly look of uncertainty. "Is this normal?" she asked. Maya raised an eyebrow. "You don't like it?" Hanna hesitated. "It feel like eating small rocks." Mina laughed before she could stop herself. "Okay, that's actually pretty accurate. I think most Koreans are used to eating rice at breakfast. A tad bit softer." David smiled, though he glanced at the clock. The morning routine was taking longer than usual. "We can find something else. There's no reason to force it." For a while, the differences felt light-hearted. They sometimes relied on the translator, which occasionally added its own unexpected personality to the conversation. One afternoon, Hanna carefully typed a sentence. "I want to say this food is very delicious," she explained. The translator responded loudly, "This dish brings me great honor." David nearly choked on his coffee. Maya leaned back, shaking her head. That escalated quickly. Mina laughed, wiping her eyes. "I mean, it's not wrong." Hanna looked between them, confused. "Translator is very dramatic," she said. Everyone found it very amusing. "It definitely has a flair for the theatrical," David replied, though his eyes drifted back to his laptop. He was working in a small tangled corner of cords and stacks of paper, a far cry from his old office. As the days passed, the house fell into a deafening silence while the girls were at school. Left alone, Hanna began to feel like a prop in a movie she hadn't auditioned for. She practiced her phrases until they lost all meaning, becoming something she said rather than something she used. By the third day, the organized mess turned physical. Hanna, desperate to be helpful while the house was empty, decided to handle the laundry. She found a bottle of industrial-strength cleaner in the garage, something David used for the driveway, and added it to a load of Sarah's maternity clothes, thinking it was just extra-strong soap. When Mina walked in that afternoon, the smell of chemicals was unbearable. "Hanna," she called. Hanna appeared, looking distraught. She held up a gray, faded shirt that used to be navy blue. Her phone translated her apology. "I try to steal the cleanliness, but I break the clothes." Mina felt a weight in her chest. "It's okay, Hanna. We can fix it." But David, walking in behind her, didn't look so sure. He stared at his ruined laundry, then at his cramped workspace. He didn't snap, but the clear distress of the situation was starting to get to him. "I feel strange," Hanna whispered, using her own voice. "Like fish not in water." Mina nodded gently. "A fish out of water?" "Yeah." Hanna looked around the house. "You go school. Mom, Dad work. My head feel too full. Cabin fever, they call it. You just need to get out," David said from the table. His hands rested motionless on the keyboard. He closed his eyes briefly and pressed his fingers to his temples. He was trying his best, but everyone was managing to step on each other's toes in small, unintentional ways. "Hey," Mina said gently. "Let's take a break." Hanna looked up. "Break something?" "Yeah. No practicing. Let's go outside." For a walk. As they walked toward the door, Mina glanced back at her dad. He gave her a small, grateful look, but it was shadowed by the executive-level stress of his displaced life. He was very happy to have a little space to breathe and decompress a bit without any sounds. Outside, Hanna took a deep breath. "Better," she said. Mina smiled. "Yeah. Sometimes you just need a reset." Hanna repeated the word quietly. Reset. As they continued down the street, Mina glanced at Hanna. She realized this current dilemma was going to need a minor miracle to resolve. It was going to require attention to the iron details that everyone else was trying to overlook.